The Office's Oscar Martinez is returning 12 years on from his final bow at Dunder Mifflin Scranton, as a recurring character in the sitcom's new spin-off show, The Paper. With Oscar Núñez reprising his most celebrated role, it's time to look back at the best moments of his namesake's tenure as a Dunder Mifflin accountant. A member of the Office's cast from day one, Núñez quickly developed his character into one of the sitcom's most important supporting roles. Oscar carved out his own niche as the know-it-all numbers buff of his workplace, who often served as the show's voice of reason alongside an array of absurdly eccentric colleagues completely lacking in self-awareness. Ever since a revival of The Office was confirmed, there's been speculation about which of the original cast will feature in this spin-off sitcom. Now that we've seen our first glimpse of Oscar returning in a reboot of The Office's mockumentary format, we can look forward to The Paper providing more moments from the character like the ones listed here. 8. Oscar roasts Michael in Spanish. Stress Relief, Part 2, Season 5, Episode 15. Oscar roasting Michael in Spanish in The Office episode Stress Relief. Season 5's famous doubleheader, Stress Relief, is one of The Office's best episodes for superfans of the show. We'll get to the episode's most famous scene later, but it actually contains several brilliant Oscar moments. Foremost among them is Oscar's turn in front of the microphone during Dunder Mifflin Scranton's roast of Michael Scott. Oscar chooses to mock Michael's shortcomings using his first language, Spanish, so that his boss can't understand a word he's saying. As a result, he can go as far as he likes with his roast, and he doesn't hold back. Gesticulating angrily in Michael's direction, Oscar shouts, "You give me an ulcer every time I wake up and have to come to work for you. Usually so calm and composed, stoically tolerating whatever is going on around him at work, Oscar displaying this kind of unbridled anger is a rare occurrence, and it couldn't be funnier in this context. 7. Andy and Oscar's business trip bonding. Business Trip, Season 5, Episode 9. Andy and Oscar drunk on a business trip in the office. Even before Andy Bernard's tragic downfall in The Office Season 9, he's already been through a lot on the show. Not least among the ordeals he admittedly brings on himself is his relationship with colleague Angela Martin. When Michael invites Andy and Oscar on a business trip with him in this Season 5 episode, Oscar gets Andy to open up about his dysfunctional relationship with Angela. Andy even drunk calls his fiancée at Oscar's prompting, a move he comes to regret the morning after. It's incredibly wholesome seeing these two characters strike up an unlikely friendship during their trip. Andy's attempt to set Oscar up by misquoting Good Will Hunting to a couple of seeming heterosexual men is another hilarious highlight. 6. Michael tells Dunder Mifflin XX Oscar will save the company. Shareholder Meeting, Season 6, Episode 11. Michael Scott addressing Dunder Mifflin shareholders in the office. Dunder Mifflin experiences its fair share of close shaves from a business perspective during the course of the series, from Ryan Howard's act of corporate fraud in Season 4, to the founding of the Michael Scott Paper Company in Season 5. At no point is the enterprise more imperiled, however, than during the Season 6 episode, Shareholder Meeting. Just as Dunder Mifflin's board of executives appear out of ideas with the company on the brink of bankruptcy, Michael unexpectedly grabs the microphone and announces to shareholders that he has a plan. He then calls Oscar, and asks his branch accountant to join him in the hotel suite where he and the company executives are desperately looking for a way to fudge his so-called plan. Earlier in the episode, Oscar explained to Michael exactly what Dunder Mifflin's problems are, and what they need to do to fix them. When his moment comes to confront the board of executives with some hard truths, though, Oscar simply pays them an empty compliment and ducks out of the meeting. He might be a know-it-all, but he's not willing to risk offending his bosses over it. 5. Oscar explains budget surplus to Michael. The Surplus, Season 5, Episode 10. Oscar teaches Michael Spanish on The Office. Throughout The Office, Oscar proves himself to be the most capable accountant at handling the childish and impressionistic whims of branch manager Michael Scott. Nowhere is his ability to tolerate Michael with the utmost patience and understanding better exemplified than in the Season 5 episode, The Surplus. In one of The Office's best cold opens, Michael asks Oscar to explain a budget surplus to him as though he were 8 years old. When this doesn't work, he then asks him to explain it as though he were 5. Oscar's ingenious application of a lemonade stand analogy to this task is his finest hour as an accountant. 4. Andy asks Oscar if he thinks he's gay. Gossip, Season 6, Episode 1. Andy leaning over Oscar at his desk in the office. One episode of The Office that's particularly difficult to watch is Gay Witch Hunt, the Season 3 premiere in which Michael inadvertently outs Oscar as gay. Once Oscar's sexuality is known to his boss and colleagues, it then becomes the butt of various jokes, some more savory than others. Still, everyone in Dunder Mifflin Scranton ultimately accepts Oscar as he is, and he gets to be the one laughing at others for their hilariously backward understanding of homosexuality in later episodes of the show. The best example of this backwardness is Andy's reaction to a rumor going round the office that he's gay. Andy himself wonders if it might be true, and goes to Oscar for reassurance that he isn't. Their conversation is toe-curling, with Oscar's question, if you resisted Brad Pitt a little bit, he would still need to get to you, now enshrined in sitcom legend. Andy leaves it even more convinced that he might be gay.